Everybody's constantly asking which AI model is better, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, but honestly, they're asking the wrong question. What really matters is how you talk to it, how you prompt it. So in this video, I'm gonna show you my 3 levels of prompting to bring you from an absolute beginner to a complete pro in just 3 steps. For those who don't know me, my name is Benji, and I've been working with AI tools for almost a decade now, building systems, training teams, and really solving real-world use cases. First, let's take a look at my 3 levels, and then I want to really give you specific real-world examples where we're going to apply these levels and see how we get much better results as we increase in these levels. So level 1, which is where most people are, even though they shouldn't be, is you have a task that you want to do and you just tell the AI model, help me do this task. For example, help me plan this team offsite. Level 2 is a little more advanced and many of you are already here, which is amazing. This is where we use a technique which is very popular called role-based prompting. And this really is very explicit and fine-tunes it to do exactly what you want. And the next level, which is called meta prompting, is going to get you to a much higher level with just adding 1 extra line before your prompt. And here we actually give the prompt to the AI to enhance it and expand it from something that was maybe a paragraph of the role-based prompting to something that's at least a page, maybe several pages of a prompt to fine-tune and get you that very high quality results every single time. For level 1, we just tell it what our task is. We have something on our mind and we tell it, this is what I want to do, help me do this task. This might work in some cases, but usually you'll feel that the AI doesn't really get you, right? Now, the second level, the role-based prompting, has a few different steps. This is really a formula that I want you to take a look at and really try to memorize, not by actually memorizing every single part, but really by practicing it yourself. When you have a problem, a task that you want to do, before asking the AI what you want to do, you should first be asking the AI, who is the expert that'll best help me with this task? And that is the role. If you have something that has to do with marketing, you might say, I want to talk with the senior marketing copywriter. You have a problem in physics, you'd want to talk with a physicist, not with a doctor. So by being very explicit about who is the expert that can most help you with the task, you're guaranteed to get much better results. Next is the context. Context is critically important. Giving them much more context about your specific situation will ensure that the AI has much more to work with. Because remember, the AI can't read your mind. All it knows is what you put into the prompt, and if you don't tell it the context, it just won't know. In the third part, again, we still didn't give the AI the task that we want to do, is explicitly saying the target audience. For example, if you want to generate some kind of report or analyze some document, the final analysis will be very different if you're presenting it to the CEO or to some management or to a friend of yours or to your kids. Only now, after we defined these critical steps, the role, the context, the target audience, only now we define the task. I want you to rate a 5-bullet executive summary. I want you to create a report for me. What exactly is the task in a very clear and well-defined way? Now we're missing one last piece in this 5-step formula, which is the constraints and how we want our output. Do we want very specific structure? Do we want, for example, a numbered list with a score for each idea? Do we want several options, 5 options, and then grade the options at the end? Preferably, we'd have something we can just copy and paste. So this is the 5-step formula of role-based prompting. You can usually pack these into just about a paragraph, and that's what I want to show you right now. So let's take a look at a few examples of level 1 and level 2. I'm in ChatGPT right now. Let's start with our first example of planning a team offsite. If I just tell them, help me plan a team offsite in just kind of this one line, this is a task that I'm trying to do. So it's going to give me this kind of generic answer, many emojis as we're used to. This could be nice, it can give me some inspiration. I can go back and forth and give it a little bit more information about my context and everything. But you can see it's kind of short and it's not exactly what I was looking for. Okay, now let's try it again in a much more precise manner. Let's look at level 2. Now, right over here, this is extremely specific about who the role is of the AI that we want to talk to. We want to talk with a corporate event planner. This is not just any regular AI. And we want help with this very specific task. So this already locks it into what our ultimate goal is with a few of the constraints. Now we're going to give it a little more context. Our team hasn't met since October. There's new faces, some friction between the departments, and the agenda needs to address all these things. We have also issues that the activities haven't been decided. We don't know the dietary restrictions. And now this is the context. The target audience is us. And let's give it a task. We want a finalized agenda, okay? And we're going to define the output format and the constraints. We want the budget breakdown and a list of our open decisions with the suggested owners. So this is already very, very clear, much more specific, and this is a great example of role-based prompting. Now we're going to see a much more dialed down answer. You can see we have like an hourly breakdown, all these different things. There's lots of activities such as the state of the team to kind of like lock in and establish what the current situation is, address some of the issues early on. There's all kind of nice activities over here to get the team together. And you can see this is a very thoughtful answer and really adapted to the current situation of the company. Very, very nice. It's giving us also kind of the open decisions list and who the different owners are. So as you can see, the difference between level 1 and level 2 of the prompt was absolutely amazing. We got a much more dialed in and personal answer just by following this 5-step formula. Now let's move on to the next phase. The next phase, level 3, is what we call meta prompting. So for meta prompting, what we do is we just add one extra line. And with that one extra line, we kind of free up the prompt and give it to the AI to enhance it and make it much better. So we can just add this one-liner. You're a world-class prompt engineer. Take my prompt, make it sharper, add some ideal tone to it, give me some examples, fill in any missing components. Really fine-tune it, maybe copy it into a different document, make sure it's exactly what I want, because the AI tends to add things that I don't want, and only then execute it. So let's see what this looks like. An expert prompt engineer, fill in all these things, and I'm going to add these little parentheses over here to kind of really highlight this is a prompt and this is what I actually want to give to the AI. Let's send this out and let's see what we're going to get. Here, what we did, the first level 1, we had just one line. Level 2, we have a paragraph. And when we give it to the AI for level 3, what we call the meta prompt, the output we're going to get is typically going to be on the order of a page. We're going to get a full page that all of it is a single prompt. Okay, now let's take a look at this. You're a senior corporate offsite consultant. You can see much more. Everything is really organized in a nice way. This is how we want our output format. We want all these things for the budget. Lots and lots of things. This is just a really big prompt. You can see this is a whole page. Now, when I take this giant prompt and I'm going to shove it into a new chat, you're going to see the results are going to be even better. And that's really amazing. This is going to be the next level. This is level 3, and the results are going to be much more accurate. So you can see we're getting much more detail over here. Again, we're getting a very similar kind of agenda, which is much more thought out, but you can see everything here is broken down. It's very clear who's leading things, lots and lots of detail. And this really is a very actionable insight, a very actionable plan that we can use. It's giving us the assumptions, where to save, and look at how much better the results are from going from level 1 up to level 3. Now, before I show you the absolutely amazing results we got when moving from level 1 to level 3 with our other 2 use cases, I want to dive a little bit back into theory land and show you really what we're actually doing here with this advanced prompt engineering. So this is my complete guide, your cheat sheet to how you can do prompt engineering like a pro. and it's divided into two categories. We have on the left side, we have our core components and the power-up components, as I like to call them. First, we define the role. This is our level 2 prompting, yeah? First, we define the role or the persona of who our AI is, who is the expert we want to talk to. We give it context of what's our situation and background. We define the audience that we want to talk to. And only then we define the task and the objective of what we actually want the AI model to do for us. And finally, we give it a little bit more information about what to do, what not to do, what our constraints are, and what exactly is the output format we want. And this is our role-based prompting. This is our level 2. And for the power-up components, with that one-liner that I showed you of the meta prompt, we can kind of push it to the next level and more clearly define the tone and the style that we want to talk to. For example, no fluff, being very direct. But really critically over here is what we call few-shot examples. We want to give it a few examples of what good outputs look like. If we're writing in a certain style, what does that style actually look like? Don't just tell, actually show. And afterwards, we want to give it our chain of thought. If we have a certain way of solving a problem, for example, first analyzing the different trends, finding outliers, removing those outliers, then making projections. If we have a certain thought process we want the model to go through before it gives us an answer, this is where we put it in. This is where we give it to the AI model. We want you to think in this specific way, and it will. And the last one, which isn't super important, but it can sometimes help a little bit, it's called output priming, where you kind of give it the first few words and you let the AI just continue from those first few words. So this is my complete prompt engineering cheat sheet. You can find it below. I'll give you a link for it. And this really is how we do prompting, whether it's level 2 or level 3. This is really the complete guide. Now, one more thing that I wanted to talk about is how prompting changes whether you're working with a fast model or a thinking model. If you watched my previous video, that I'll link also over here, there's really two different kinds of modes of AI models. Ones that kind of give you an answer right away, the fast models, and other models that first think and do careful calculations and analysis before giving you an answer. And these are called the thinking models. Now, the thinking models, they prefer more freedom, and the fast models prefer more constraints. So as you can see here in this comparison, when we look at the fast models, for the role, we want to set it very clearly. We want to break the task down step by step, give it very, very clear context and very wide so it has everything we want, give it very specific constraints, define carefully exactly the output format we want, and give it very specific examples, which is also very helpful for boosting performance. And regarding the chain of thought, this is absolutely essential for the fast models because they don't usually do this by themselves unless you specifically tell them, we want you to do this, then we want you to do that, and then that. For thinking models, this isn't as relevant because they're already thinking and they prefer less constraints. In terms of the role, the model can define its own role and find which role is best for it. In terms of the task, it's very important to give it the task, but do give it some freedom. Don't micromanage it too much, and usually this gives you a little bit better results. In terms of context, definitely still give it all the context. It can go in so many different directions unless you give it very clear context about what your problem is. Constraints is also very important, same with the output format. In terms of examples, it can help a little bit, but the thinking models are so powerful, this can sometimes provide a little bit of too much over constraints, and same goes with the chain of thought. So this is kind of how the fast and thinking models differ a little bit and how you approach prompting these different models. Now let's look at the effects of our 3 levels of prompting on our second use case, which is analyzing a company's survey. Over here, I have a fictional survey of employee experience survey where the different employees from different departments, they give us all kinds of answers about management, about the work, the well-being, kind of open feedback that people gave us. And it's a little bit of a messy document that aggregates kind of some of the results of over here. So let's upload this document and we'll give it at the beginning. We're starting at level 1, remember? Level 1, we're just only going to give it the task, which is going to be obviously suboptimal. So let's just give it kind of a very vague prompt of just analyze these survey results. And you'll see at first it's not really going to do a very good job. It is giving me a little bit of things. You see it's analyzing some 3 big problem signals, a workaround. You know, it's actually not super bad. Maybe I was dissing a little bit too much, but it's not exactly what I was looking for. So let's give it another chance. Let's go up to level 2. Let's now tell it, you are a people and culture analyst preparing an executive report for the CEO, right? It's not for everyone. And we want to do this before the April hands-on. This is a messy Q1 employee survey, 61 responses. There's all kinds of issues in it. Please give me an executive summary, top findings and data, and recommended action plan to all the owners. Let's try this again with our level 2 prompt, and let's see what we get. Again, the previous one was, even though now we're saying that it's targeted to the CEO, the previous one, the version of level 1, it had all kinds of other things. It didn't know who the target audience was. It had things for sales. It had all these different action items. But now that we told it that the target audience is for the CEO and defined very clearly which output format we want, you can see it's going to follow it much, much better. We have here the executive summary, exactly what we want, the satisfaction that it dipped a little bit from 3.72 to 3.61 during this quarter. Very, very clear, actionable insights. And it gives us some of the top findings, much more clear, much more specific about what we want. Priority map, exactly what we need to do to improve performance, giving us some action items, much, much better results. Let's go up to level 3. Now we're going to, remember, we put it in these triple parentheses, and we'll copy our prompt over here. And if you remember, we need to add that one-liner over here. This is a variation, but it's extremely similar. You're a world-class engineer. Take the prompt below, enhance it, make it sharper, add an ideal tone, a few examples, and fill in any missing components. Let's shoot this off, and now it's going to only update our prompt. It's going to enhance our prompt and make it much, much better compared to what it was before. And then we can take this enhanced prompt, this is our level 3, and you can see it's dividing it over here. It's taking that 1-paragraph prompt and converting it into a 1-page prompt. And this is very clearly defining exactly kind of what we want. So let's copy all of this, and we'll copy it into a new window. And now let's try using this prompt again, and we'll see what we get. Let's analyze this document one more time, but with our improved prompt, and let's see what we get. And in terms of the executive summary, I actually have to say that this is a little bit too dense, in my opinion, for an executive summary. I think the executive would want a 1-paragraph, not several paragraphs. But you can see it's using language that's much more tailored. It has all these examples, very, very high level report, what not to do. Everything's very clear and bold. So we're getting a very, very high quality output. Let's take a look now at our final use case, and we'll tie up the video with this. So we have another example over here, which is a quarterly plan versus the results. So the plan versus all the actuals. And we can see over here all this messy table of all these different KPIs that we're trying to track. Very messy, very dense, what the differences are, what are the key differences. It is already kind of, it does summarize it a little bit, but it's kind of hard to read all these different things. So let's try to give it to our AI model, and we'll see what level 1 versus level 3 look like. So for the first one, let's just, level 1, let's just tell it, review my Q1 results versus the plan. Let's dump this on it, this messy document, and let's see how it's gonna work. It's probably not gonna work very, very good, but it's giving us kind of a top level summary, pretty short, not super bad, giving us some of the key numbers, pretty okay. So for level 2 for this task, we're gonna tell it first who the role is. You're a business operations analyst reviewing Q1 2025 actuals for a B2B SaaS company. Right off the bat, extremely clear what the role is, what our goal is. We're giving it a little bit more context, what our ARR is, what to focus on. And now, once again, when we give it over here, when we give it the document, we're going to get a much, much clearer response, which is tailored to the target audience and has exactly the output format that we want. So that's a huge, huge example of what we can get over here. Top 3 misses. So this is really, really tailored down exactly to the format that we want, and it's much, much better. Now to wrap it up, let's do it with level 3. So again, we're going to put the prompt inside these 3 parentheses, and we're going to give it our meta prompt. Take this prompt below and enhance it, make it sharper, ideal tone, add 2 through 3 examples, and fill in any missing components. Let's shoot this out, and you'll see we're going to get a prompt that's basically the size of a full page, clearly defined as our context, goals, deliverables, who the target audience is. It's clearly defined over here, what the structure is that we want, the tone. It filled in really everything. So this, and some more output snippets, which is great. This is our few shot examples, which is also known to dramatically improve the performance. So we'll pop it in over here, and we're going to dump in the quarterly plan. And one last thing, which I haven't done in the previous document analysis, but I will do here, is move into the thinking model. If you watch my previous video, which I'll link to right after here, it's critical to use thinking models when you do document analysis like I'm doing here. You can get pretty good results, as we saw, but if you want to get absolutely amazing and precise results, you really need to use a thinking model. This is in addition to the prompt. The prompt can really guide you a lot and take care of a lot of the things for you. But when you use a thinking model, it'll really give you things for the next level. Cool. So now we're going to get a really executive summary. Very, very organized. And you can see it's confirming things. It's very, very strict. It's telling what's a hypothesis, what's a fact. And you can see this result, although it does have a few issues over here with the citations. The result is very, very locked down, very, very clear. It's using very precise kind of language, just like we wanted. And that's what we get from level 3. Please ignore this. It's very odd. I've never seen these issues inside ChatGPT. I'm sure that when you use it, you won't have it. But that's level 3 for this last example use case. So that's it for my 3 levels of prompting. Remember, you don't start by just giving the AI the task. You first need to clearly define the role, the target audience, the context, and only then give it your task and your constraints and output formula. And to get to the next level, to go up to really level 3, you're going to need to use meta prompting. That technique will really boost your outputs to the next level and give you very reliable and high quality results. So happy prompting, and I'll see you next time.